What's going on, Gifted Hands family? It is Elijah here bringing you another lesson, and today we're going to be talking about altered chords. I'm going to tell you exactly what altered chords are, and then just an easy way to find altered chords. This is one of the most common questions I get in my academy. So many musicians want to understand altered chords and master them, and as well as here on YouTube as well. I get a lot of folks wondering, man, how can I find altered chords? What are your approach to altered chords? So today we're going to dive into this topic a little bit in depth. So let's get into it. So just to start off, what exactly is an altered chord? I'm so glad you asked. An altered chord is real simple, actually. So altered chords can be really related to any type of chord. It could be related to a major chord. It could be related to a minor chord. But in the context we're going to talk about today is specifically related to dominant chords, okay? So if I have a dominant chord, let's say C7, C dominant, right? An altered chord just means I can take any of the notes of this chord and either lower them by a half step or raise them by a half step, aka alter them, to give me different harmony, to give me more complex or a little bit more tense harmony. Okay, so let's look at the fifth. In C7, G is my 5, right? So what if I lower the fifth? That gives me now C7, but I have a flat 5 or a sharp 11, we call it. All right, and then what if I raise the fifth though instead of lowering it? That gives me a sharp 5 now. That's it. So that's all the altered chord is. That means you're just taking one of the notes from your dominant chord and you're either gonna lower it by a half step or we're gonna raise it by a half step. Okay? Real simple. And so there's really only four alterations that you can make to a chord. That's it. Only 4. Super simple. So with the C dominant chord, right? The 4 alterations that we can make, not to just this chord, but any chord, is gonna be a flat 9, meaning, so actually, before I even jump into that, just when I say 9, all I mean is I'm counting up my scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The 1 and the 8 are the same, right? But when we're talking about alterations, I like to use extensions. So 9ths, 11ths, 13ths, things of that nature. And that just means that when I use a number past 8, that just means that I have the 7th included in the chord. So this is 7, 8, 9. So D is the 9 or the 2. 4 is also the 11. 8, 9, 10, 11. And then we have 12, 13 or the 6. So 9 and 2, same thing. 11 and 4, same thing. 6 and 13, same thing. Okay? So now the alterations. There's only 4. So the first alteration that we have is going to be the 9th, and it can be flatted. We can lower the 9th. That's one alteration. Or we can raise the 9th, which is what's called a sharp 9, right? So those are 2 of the alterations that we can make. And then the other 2 are going to be based off the 5. We can either lower the 5th, which gives us a flat 5, also known as a sharp 11. Why is it called sharp 11? 8, 9, 10, 11. F is 11. If I raise it, that gives me the sharp 11. So flat 5 or sharp 11. And then we also have the sharp 5. Some people call it like the flat 13, but I'll never do that. Just sharp 5. That's what I call it. Alright, so we got flat 9, sharp 9, flat 5, or sharp 5. Those are the only 4 alterations that we can make. That's it. So all of our altered chords are just going to be based off of these 4 alterations, right? Flat 9, sharp 9, flat 5, sharp 5. And there's going to be some either those played individually or some combination of all of those, okay? And then also we can combine these alterations with our extensions. Extensions meaning the 9th or the 13th, right? Those are the extensions that we can add. So we can combine all of these different alterations and extensions together to give us some dope harmony. So where do we use these altered chords at? Like why do I even need to know what the heck a flat 9, a sharp 9, or any of these dumb numbers are anyway, right? So the main context that you're going to find altered chords used in gospel and jazz is mainly in either as a passing chord. So like in gospel, let's see, never would have made it, never would have made it without you, right? So if I'm playing a gospel song, anywhere where I have these progressions, anywhere where I have a progression in gospel and there's a dominant chord, instead of playing like if I'm playing a 7, 3, 6, instead of playing a basic dominant chord, if I want it to sound more advanced, more complex, and really like more tense, like if I want to create more dissonance, really, dissonance is what it's called. And so if I want to create more dissonance in my playing, dissonance just meaning there's more tension and there's more grit in the chords that I'm playing. Dissonance just provides more beauty when it comes to like resolution. So if I play 7, 3, 6, sounds good, right? But if I do 7, 3, 6, this provides way more tension than this, right? So this is a basic dominant chord. This is also a dominant chord, or this is a dominant chord, but it has more tension. This has much more tension than this, right? It has much more dissonance. So when I resolve this chord to A minor, it sounds much more dramatic. There's a bigger contrast, right? So that's why we like to play altered chords, because they provide a bigger contrast from chord to chord to chord. It provides more tension, more dissonance. So like I said, I'm gonna use that in as if I play a passing chord. So if I'm going from the 1 to the 6, I might throw in 1, 3, 6. I might throw in a passing chord, and a passing chord can be altered. It can be altered to create more tension and make that resolution more beautiful, right? Or I can use it altered chords in progressions such as the 2-5-1. That's like literally the most common progression in music. So if I'm playing 2-5-1 in the key of C major, I can add, instead of playing a basic G7, because the 5 of any 2-5-1 is a dominant chord, right? So instead of playing a basic dominant chord, I can play. Actually, I played rootless, so let me. I'm gonna simplify it a little bit. 2, 5, 1. I can add alterations to my chords, and it just sounds. First off, it sounds jazzy, which who doesn't want to sound jazzy? 2, 5, 4, 5, 1. It sounds more jazzy, and it just sounds more tense. It creates this stark contrast between that altered chord. Sounds like I'm going way out in outer space somewhere. Then I resolve. Okay. And so yeah, that's kind of the what of what an altered chord is and why we use them and where we use them. Okay. So before we end this lesson, I want to give you one quick way that you can find these altered chords. So instead of having to sit here and figure out what alteration do I use, how do I find the sharp 9, how do I find the sharp 11, how do I find the 13, all of these different things, I want to give you a quick way that you can find alterations and advanced harmonies instead of sitting there fumbling around trying to figure it out. Okay. So in my Gifted Hands Academy, I teach gospel, jazz, neo-soul musicians how to improve in their playing and accomplish their musical goals, right? And so in our academy this month, we've been talking about altered chords a lot, and we've really been talking about this thing called upper structure triads. So upper structure triads just means that if I'm playing a dominant chord, right, and I want to play an altered dominant, a quick way to do that is going to be by playing a basic dominant, voicing in my left, and then playing a triad in my right hand. So I can play a triad in the right over a basic dominant in my left, and that's going to give me this cool altered advanced harmony. So for instance, if I play a major triad in my right hand, let's say I'm playing C7, right? I'm playing C dominant, and I play a major triad in my right hand based off of the 2, the second scale degree, or the 9th, that's going to give me a altered chord. So let's look at that. Let's play a 2-5-1 in F major. So 2, 5. The 5 is C7. The 1 is F major. 2, 5, 1. All right. So if I play, let's say I play this major triad based off of the 9th, it's gonna give me this chord. What does that sound like in context? 2, 5. Let me play it one more time. 2, 5, 1. I like that. Or let's say we did it with the minor 2-5-1. 2, 5, 1. Okay, so why am I telling you this? So what I want you to do is just experiment. You can use major and minor triads over a dominant chord to give you great altered harmony, to give you advanced harmony and these advanced chords. So all you got to know is, if you want to play an altered chord, I'm going to teach you one voicing that you can use over any dominant chord in your left, and then you can experiment with major and minor triads in your right hand and figure out all the different types of chords that you can come up with. So the basic voicing that we're going to use in our left hand for any dominant chord is just going to be your root, your third, and your flat seventh. That's all you need to know. Root, third, and flat seventh. Okay? And then what you can start doing with your right hand is experimenting, building major triads off of different scale degrees. So like, if I built a major triad off of the, let's say the sharp 9, that gives me an altered chord. What if I built a major triad off of the sharp 11? That's a different type of harmony. What if I built a major triad off of the sharp 5? Okay. Or what about if I built it off of the 13th? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 or 13 is the same. So I can build major triads off of this dominant chord, or I can build minor triads off of this dominant chord. So maybe I want to build a minor triad off of the flat 9. That gives me a type of altered chord. Flat 9, third, sharp 5. Or maybe I want to play a minor triad off of the, let's say, the sharp 9. Ooh, that's funky. So I gotta play this in context to see what it sounds like. 2, 5, 1. Or 2, 5, 1. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so all I want you to know is play the root third and flat seventh in your left hand for any chord, right? And then in your right hand, start experimenting. Put major triads based off of the sharp 9, or try it from the sharp 11, or from the 13th, or from the sharp 5. Experiment with the different, with placing these triads off of the different scale degrees of whatever dominant chord that you're playing, and you can come up with some crazy harmony. This is something actually that we're going into depth in my academy, like I said, this month. So I've done a couple different lessons on how you can find advanced harmony, how you can find all of these alterations, and I go deeper into the specifics about where exactly you want to place your major triads, where you want to place your minor triads, how to create altered chords, how to create extended chords and different sus chords using these same concepts that we talked about in this lesson. So if you want more information on that, you can check out the Gifted Hands Academy. So that's all I have for you today. Just take this, have some fun with it. Remember, as long as you got that basic dominant voicing in your left hand, root, third, seventh, and then you have some type of major or minor triad, experiment with placing triads in your right hand, and they can be major or minor. Have some fun with it and see what you come up with. There's so many different options. There's so many different possibilities to create these cool advanced harmonies, these alterations, these extensions using these upper structure triads. And if you want more information, if you want me to go more in depth with specifically, hey, where can I specifically put a major triad over a dominant, or where do I need to put a minor triad? If you want step-by-step instructions on for me to walk you through this process, I have a bunch of lessons that I've released this month and will continue to release this month on this specific topic on altered chords on these upper structure triads. So if you want more information, more in-depth lessons, definitely check out Gifted Hands Academy. We also have other resources such as the Gospel Keys Masterclass, where we talk about altered chords. I have a Neo Soul Essentials Masterclass as well, where I talk about altered chords. So many resources out here that we've created here at Gifted Hands Music to help you as a musician understand this and many other concepts. Just make sure you check those out. The links are in the description of this video. But I hope you got something from this lesson, y'all. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment, let me know what you think about this lesson, as well as maybe some suggestions on what you want to hear in the future. I'm all ears. I'm here to listen to y'all. I want to help you all because y'all have helped me. Y'all have supported this channel, and I'm loving it. All right, so I'll see y'all next time. Until then, though, keep practicing, keep growing, keep getting better at your craft, and I will see you very soon. Have a great day.